All right, man, you made it to Tuesday, the 10th of October, and you still look terrifying as hell, but I still want to lick you. So let's talk about Chrissy. And so this is a live stream, and so Chrissy is voted that she can stay and help investigate, even though he's supposed to be there by himself. And so they go and investigate, and then they find a hidden fucking room, and then they go down in that hidden room, and there's an old chest there, and in that chest they find the diary of Mildred, and in a box that is locked. And so he puts the fucking box in his bag, and then they go back upstairs and they play with the Ouija board, where Chrissy convinces Sean to recite a Latin phrase to put the spirits at rest. And he says that he's not going to do it, but she's like, no, this is good. And he does recite the same Latin phrase that she gives him. Chrissy now then disappears while they're investigating, and then she fucking reappears out of nowhere, and he's getting really suspicious about her acts and her, what the fuck is she doing around here? And then all of a sudden, Chrissy reaches out and she fucking bites him, and she's fucking biting him really hard. He grabs a stake and he fucking stabs it right through her neck. And he's like, oh my god, I fucking killed Chrissy. He goes to his live stream and he's fucking telling his live stream, and he's typing, I call the cops. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. And he goes back out to where Chrissy's body is, and she's gone. And he's like, oh, fuck, man, I gotta get the hell out of here. And he grabs his camera and he sees that Mildred is hanging in the fucking hall with his camera up, and he looks and fucking there's nobody there. But then he looks at his camera and she's fucking hanging, and his live stream tells him, just fucking go past her. And so he goes fucking past her. When he gets past her, fucking she grabs him, fucking a lot of crazy shit fucking happens. He goes, throws her down the stairs, and then he fucking runs down the stairs and he jumps over her, and he fucking, I gotta get out of here. He locked himself in. He threw his key down the crate. He fucking goes and rips the crate open, and he grabs the key, but it's not the key to the lock. He's like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And his live stream says, the key, use the key for that lock box that you grabbed. And he fucking looks like it does fit. And he opens up that little box that he grabbed down in that hidden room, and it has a picture of Mildred, and it is Chrissy. And now the live stream fucking tells them, with their knowledge of Google and everything, that what he recited in Latin was actually a soul binding spell, where his soul now is binded to Mildred, which is Chrissy. And so he's just like, oh my god, there's fucking no way I can get out of here. And so he fucking tries to run upstairs. And when he gets upstairs, he sees a rope, and he's gonna fucking use that rope and jump out the only window that is available to get out. And when he goes to jump out the window, there is a fucking ghost, and it fucking scares him. He runs back into his safe room, where he goes into the closet, and he fucking covers his head like a fucking little scared little boy, like you are when you're fucking younger. And then he's fucking starts hearing some shit, and then he fucking puts the blanket down, and he looks in, it's a fucking Mildred underneath his leg, and he's like, ah, and he fucking runs, and he goes fucking running right to that window, and instead of fucking putting the rope on, he just fucking jumps out. Boom, and he fucking lands. He's just like, ah, he thinks he broke his leg. He's like, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to look at it. He fucking looks at it, and it looks fucking pretty bad. They're like, clean it. Man, he's still got his all fucking streaming equipment on, man. He's got his camera right here. He's got his camera on his fucking forehead. He got his fucking close-up POV view, and he fucking then runs to fucking his truck. Oh man, he must have took out his spark plugs, because he wanted to make sure that he didn't want to leave this place. So he threw all his measurements in before the fucking live stream, or during the live stream, like, I'm gonna take my spark plugs out of my truck. I'm gonna fucking lock myself in this place and throw the key down the grate. And then he goes and looks for his spark plugs out in the woods, and he fucking finds them. And then when he finds the last one, all of a sudden there's this ghostly figure there, bam, shows up. And then all of a sudden the cops show up. He's like, oh my god. Now come back tomorrow to finish the story as we continue 31 days of Halloween. By the way, you look terrifying as hell.